Hey kids, welcome back to the Apartment A3 podcast. It's going to be a doozy. I got a good one here today for you. My friend Mike Tronconi is back in the studio. We talk about a meandering bunch of different bullshit. It's going to be good fucking talk. Buckle up. You got to get right up on that shit too. So pull the mic. You have all the boom in the world. Pull it right up to your face. You get comfortable in that chair.
Boom.
Boom. Boom. Because you, when you were here last, I had the other mics, so I got these now, right? These are the classic, the SM7B, right? So that's a podcasting mic. Also, famously, the microphone that Quincy Jones used with Michael Jackson to record Thriller. So I keep going, I got the Thriller, into the microphone all the time.
It's in my ears, though.
If you want to turn it down, it's over. It's the first.
Little knob?
Yeah, the first one. Just you can bring that down. Because you have the extra box that amplifies the amplified. So, sorry if I hurt your ears with my terrible Michael Jackson impression. So, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Apartment A3 podcast. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fuck all that. I'm here in the new studio space / baby's bedroom with returning guest Mike Tronconi and friend Mike Tronconi.
Hello.
What's up, brother? How's it been?
Oh, it's good. Just working.
Yeah?
And that's it.
How's that office life?
It's good. It's gotten better.
Has it?
I mean, like, now it's just more like...
I'm sorry to sound incredulous. Has it actually gotten better?
A little bit, yeah. Now I'm like, okay, rather than like 16 hours of just my headphones, it's become 24 hours of my headphones per week. So that's you know...
That's not bad.
No.
So are you part-time?
No, it just switched my schedule around a little bit. So I'm like, I don't have to listen to as many phone calls.
Oh, okay. Right, because you were doing something else with extra, like off-the-phone work or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I don't have to listen to as many people now.
That's good because that was one of the things that made me want to kill myself.
Oh, it's just one after another.
It's just constant.
Even our department's not that bad with it, but it's just like I just don't want to talk to anybody.
I keep, I get.
But here I am doing a podcast.
I get in the conversation. Well, it's a little bit different. It's only me and your headphones.
True.
It's the same dude.
True.
You electively came over here. I buzzed you in because you hit the button. So
I did.
You're here of your own accord.
I was sitting there. I'm like, which one is it? Then I'm like, well, I know their name. I'm like, I know the last name. So that's. I don't. Oh, it's obviously
it's A3.
It's A3. Okay. Well, and like I stared at it for like 2 seconds. I was like, is it though? Like, no, it definitely.
It is. He didn't just pick someone else's
I'm like, is it
apartment
3A?
number.
I'm like, no. I'm like, there's no 3A. That would be like C or C3. I guess C3, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
If I was on the third floor, right?
Architecture.
Yeah, right. Arbitrary planning of addresses within a building.
I was coming up and I was like, oh, the building was built in 1920. I'm like, I think our apartment was too. And then I'm just sitting there. I'm like, was this whole city just built in 1920? Like,
there's a couple spots down the street, like a couple houses that are also like certified. They have the plaques too.
Right.
Like 19 or 18. I want to say I saw one that was like 1874. I'm like, that's kind of old. And then John Oliver reminds us how fucking old England is. And I go, oh, no, like this is bullshit. This is nothing.
right. Well, my friend was just in Ireland last week. And, well, they got engaged there. So it was nice of them to get engaged in a good country,
Right. Congratulations to your friends that I don't know.
Yeah, they're not like, it's not like a transgender thing. But it's just like there's 2 straight people that got engaged, which was allowed here. But, it's a better country over there. It's a better continent over there.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like, cool that they went somewhere else to do it.
Right.
Rather than a destination wedding, a destination engagement. That's fine because nobody else has to go there.
I don't think she had an idea it was gonna happen. She's like, it better fucking happen.
Right.
But it wasn't so much like I'm expecting it.
It's one of those it better happen, but I'm not gonna expect it because I don't want to get my hopes up. But if the guy
just happened to do my nails 3 days
ago, do it, I'm gonna leave him.
Go.
One of those.
I am out. But yeah, no, they it was good for them. But yeah, he was saying like everything was just like 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, maybe. I don't know, maybe.
Oh yeah, no.
But it's just so much older, and it's just in still better condition than anything we have here.
A lot of yeah. There's Europe. What was John Oliver's line? This is from forever ago too. Some special he did before he even did the Daily Show, where he's like something about speaking to you in an English accent, which has authority, something you're not used to. I come from the country where history happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's like because I don't know. Somebody said, I think I read a comment. Of course, on some Facebook post where the guy's like, yeah, when I went over there some guy went to Oxford or something as an exchange or whatever, or just went over and went to Oxford and his apartment was built in like 16 something. I'm like, that's fucking insane.
Right. And here I am. I'm like, oh man, my hardwood floors might be getting like worn in. Am I worried about that?
I just to refinish them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not my house.
Oh, well, then fuck them.
but it's Jenna, so I don't want to ruin anything.
Oh, well, then don't fuck him. Sorry, Jenna. Sorry.
I noticed it, and I was like, has this been here? I was telling her this the other day, and I was telling my girlfriend this. I was like, I don't know if we fucked up the floors, or if the people that lived there before us, or like the roommates I had that had this annoying ass dog fucked up.
The fucked up of the floors are from 40 plus years ago.
Probably
it's really
true.
not even.
And I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, did I do this? And I'm like, my bed was over it. So in my head, I'm thinking, did I put my bed over this like a year ago so I wouldn't have to see this, thinking that I did?
That's also possible.
And now I'm like,
yeah.
in my head, I'm like, did I fuck this up? I'm like, there's no possible way. I'm like, I'm not even this large of a person if I was to do a complete 360 on the ground and just like fuck it up in like a perfect circle. But I'm like, no, it couldn't have been me. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, no, there's got to be a way I can fix this.
Stop overthinking, dude. Stop overthinking. You're fine. It does it. It's all good.
And I'm like, it's not the security deposit. It's the fact that I don't want to screw up my friend's house.
Right. She comes up to do the final checkout. You're like, I didn't do that. That wasn't me.
She's like,
that was not me.
She's like, you carved your name in the floor. No, it was a different Mike Tronconi. That was a completely different guy. It's like, you also spray painted it saying this isn't the other Mike Tronconi.
Pulled out my airbrush. I wanted to be very specific because spray paint's just too general.
She's like, why did you use an airbrush? Well, it was my carnival day. It was my
I
carnival
was working on my
stay.
calligraphy class. My calligraphy. Gee, I'm just gonna drop that joke. So what else is going on, man?
Not much.
Yeah.
Nothing really.
I don't want to say end of days, but definitely end of summer.
I've been so happy because like I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt because I'm gonna go to the gym and get real swole and tough.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Really tough.
Oh, you just sweat your nuts off.
Like it's gonna be bad, and I'm gonna hate it. But no, I'm so happy. Tomorrow's gonna be like 60, and I think that marks like the decline of summer fully. Even though I guess today is literally the last day of summer.
No, what's the 21st?
It's today, or
Isn't
tomorrow.
it?
Yeah. There's an equinox involved,
shit.
not like a Chevy
Yeah.
one. But,
Let's see, the autumnal equinox. Yeah.
Ah,
Holy fuck.
see, that's that northern education.
Right? It's a northern education.
So no, that's super weird because the other day my friend went to did some associates thing for like what is it, X-ray stuff, I want to say.
X-ray technician.
X-ray tech, and he had to like learn about like different parts of the heart, and I'm just like, oh my god, like the aortic valve, and he's like, wait, what? Oh my god, he's like, how do you know? I'm like, I don't know,
Because
that's
went
to school in Lancaster.
I was
like,
gonna
of
say,
course
I
I'm
feel like
gonna know it.
that's like a general knowledge kind of thing, but then
Yeah.
people are like, how the fuck would you know what an aortic
Yeah,
valve
like-
is? I'm like, you've never listened to a radio
They're like
broadcast
they're
or
like
a
a
podcast?
ventricle, and I'm like, yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah.
like they're like tubes, right?
You got a
Or
left and a right ventricle, right?
Yeah, I'm
You
like,
got a couple of ventricles in there. There's 4 chambers in the heart. Come on, this is bullshit
This is
that
normal.
people
Like, I know this,
fucking
and
know.
I learned this in 5th grade, but for some reason I'm using it right now, and that's probably the only time I'll ever say I've learned something or like use something from school in real life.
As long as it's not algebra or trigonometry
No.
or.
Not at all.
I don't use PEMDAS ever.
Never have.
I'm
had
familiar
to.
with what it is, though.
Please excuse my
Dear Aunt
dogs.
Sally.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
yeah. I was
My
trying to
dog's ass shit.
think- ass.
Jesus Christ, man.
I mean,
I just never
well,
thought
yeah,
about
I mean,
it
she
that
just
way.
goes wherever,
I'm just
so.
jealous that you had that and I didn't have that in my pocket. But, and yeah, I don't know. I'm the reverse of most people in Buffalo, where it's like, oh my god, it's fall. It's like, yeah, fuck fall. Like the next 9 months, I'm gonna be so depressed.
oh my god, I love it. I
You
love that it gets dark at like when you wake up, and then when you like, because I leave at 5:30 for like from work, and I'm like, fuck yeah, it's bedtime.
I fucking hate that.
God,
The
it's my
opposite, dude.
favorite.
I want almost the daylight span that they have in Alaska when it's in northern Alaska where it's like
40 days or
sub
whatever it is.
50,000
Yeah.
degrees, but it's like during the summer and they have 6 solid months where it never goes down. I'd be fine with that. I can put blackout curtains in my room to make myself go to sleep. I'd rather have the sun all the time.
We were talking about going to Alaska next year, but we're just like, where the fuck do we even begin planning an Alaskan trip? Like, we're just gonna go to like Anchorage or like whatever cities are out there.
Yeah.
But we're like, how do you even like? We're like, do we fly into Toronto and then fly to Alaska?
Probably.
I'm like,
I
I'm
would
assuming
think
it's
probably.
there's got to be some layover in another country or like, which I guess would be Canada.
Either that or maybe like they might stop up in Chicago.
Yeah, or like JFK
possibly.
or something,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would think
or even like Seattle.
a major hub. I would think, yeah.
Yeah.
But there are no direct flights to. Well, not with Southwest anyway. There's no direct flights.
I
to
won't take
Seattle,
anything
think.
but Southwest.
Yeah.
I love Southwest more than I
Do they go to Alaska?
No.
Okay.
No, they don't. So,
Do they go to
so I won't
Hawaii?
have to
Do they go
to
to Hawaii yet though? Because they're
I think they
supposed
do,
to.
yeah. I think they do.
I didn't know if that started yet or if it's supposed to start in the spring next year.
I think they even do direct to Denver now and direct to Vegas,
Direct to
From
Vegas,
Buffalo.
I can see for
Yeah.
sure.
which I guess to Denver is not that much further.
No, that's not bad.
Isn't it even close? No, it's not.
I don't know my geography, dude.
The whole West is a mystery to me. For the longest time, I still don't understand how somebody can call Ohio the Midwest. I still think it's Eastern.
You know what? Can I, on that note, and people are like, Chicago's the Midwest. I'm like, if it's the middle of the West, where does the West start?
Right.
Because if we're the East, right? If Buffalo is still within the East Coast, right? We're in the original 13 all along the, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're the East. Chicago's, what? Just a state or so-ish, one time zone west of us, right?
Yeah, because it would go, I think for us to get to Chicago, it would have to be, we would just literally go through Erie, come out Erie pretty much, like 10 more minutes, you're in Ohio, and then you just go, you hit like Cincinnati, or you hit like Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, and then you're in Illinois, and it's like, okay, well, that doesn't seem that bad.
It's still like an 8-hour drive, but my thing is if that's the Midwest, where does the West start? That the West expands so far west, all the way to California and Oregon and
now, do they
Washington.
And it's not like it's middle of the country, like if it was their top, bottom, middle.
Right.
Because they're still pretty northern.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and
I don't really even consider us.
If you were just saying Midwest left to right, I'd be like, all right, if you were further west, I'd say more Midwest. I don't have to be like, center of the country.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. But the which was longitude, latitude, fatitude, which is the one where, never mind. It doesn't matter north to south for me when it's left to right. But it's like, you're still, and so to say that Ohio begins the Midwest, I'm like, well, no, Ohio, I mean, I guess if that begins the Midwest, that's fine. Mm-hmm. So I guess where does So where does the Midwest end and where's the West begin? I guess maybe that's my problem. Yeah, maybe that's where I'm thinking about it wrong.
Well, then there's the Far West. I guess there would be the Far West, the Midwest, the West,
and then there's the Far East, and that's a whole other.
Yeah, which I guess would probably be like the original colonies and stuff.
Oh well, the Far East is Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, if we're talking country,
right. If we're talking within the contiguous
North America,
right? I mean, really, the West technically would be Hawaii.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. And so if you're going non-contiguous, this is all very arbitrary. But if you're going non-contiguous,
this has just been bothering me because I don't like when people call Cleveland the Midwest, and I'm like, it's not at all. It's still very Eastern.
Oh, I hate when they call us upstate.
That's Albany.
Have you seen that multiple people have like reshared these maps and stuff that are hand drawn out? We're Western New York. Who was it? Oh, there's some comedian. He's got it's not TJ Miller, but it's like a couple initials. This guy's got long red hair. He's real skinny. I think he does jujitsu. At least he doesn't.
Carrot Top.
No, not Carrot Top.
Carrot Top.
But he's been here recently to Helium, but when he was coming, actually,
I know who you're talking.
You know what I'm talking about?
With the hat, the guy with the hat, right?
Sometimes
the top hat.
No, that's TJ Miller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the guy from like Deadpool and stuff.
Yeah,
but he also like apparently did some shit, and so like I kind of want to like him because I think he's funny, but he's also a piece of shit apparently.
I don't even know what he did.
#me too. If you want, you can look it up. It's one of those. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I don't like him. But now I don't like him.
But it's a different guy. I can't think of what his name is, but he was coming to Buffalo. He was coming to do a show at Helium, and he put out a video on his Facebook page. And apparently, I follow this dude. And he said, apparently, I need to apologize in advance. And he said, and it was way funnier than I'm going to do it. I'm going to ruin it right now. But he's like, what did he say? So apparently, Buffalo is not considered upstate New York, but it's Western New York. And he kind of does the breakdown, but he goes, and Western New York is Canada. So I'll be coming to Canada. I was like, fuck you, dude.
It's true.
But there's a breakdown map that you can find that somebody like hand drew, and it's like Western, Central, Northeastern, Upstate, I think the five boroughs, Manhattan.
Just Blue Cross that drew that up. I think they're just like, there you go.
Some Blue Cross employees like, fuck this shit. This is what it is.
This is it. I just don't want to talk to everybody every day.
Oh, you guys are all the way in Buffalo? It's like we're still in the same state, bro.
Yeah, I'm like we're 5 hours away. You're all the way there.
It's like Russia fits inside the contiguous U.S. and it takes like 5 of our contiguous U.S. to fit inside of the continent of Africa. So just if you want to feel small ever, that's just our planet. Then we can go outside of that.
We're the best.
Yeah. So it's like, it's ridiculous.
We're not the best.
What? Who? Us?
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck that. We are the best. Our government sucks. The people who we have as a collective managed to elect to represent us. I'm not gonna. I know,
which is also horrible because we let that.
I never get political on this podcast. I just because I don't know enough to argue a point when somebody argues.
I know what
back.
I do and don't like.
Right, for sure. And what I can say is that
I don't like it.
For me. My opinion is that the elected officials who've been elected in states that have nothing to do with New York, have nothing to do with me, have nothing to do with who I voted for, and then people on higher appointments, all the way up to the guy who's running the country right now. And I have to give the dude credit enough to say, not into the ground. He hasn't fucking tanked the country yet. He hasn't.
He'll get that.
The thing is, and I hope I get back to my point. I know when he got elected, I know D.L. Hughley was hugely criticized for saying that he hopes that he does well. He's like, I hope he does well. I support him. I hope he does well. Joe Rogan says the same thing, and I agree. As much as you might hate the dude, and he's a piece of shit.
Does well, because I don't want to deal with the aftermath.
He's the guy leading our country. Why would you want him to do badly? Mm-hmm. It doesn't make any sense for him to do badly. I almost, as a dare, want him to turn around and at the end of the 4 or God fucking forbid 8 years and go, all right, guys, here you go. Economy's through the roof. It's not because of Obama stuff anymore, which currently it sort of is. Like you go down the line, he goes, I did this, and this, and these are all positives. We're all working better.
Yeah.
I would love for that to be a thing. I don't think it will, but so far, outside of his own personal, gaffes, the Russian thing, the email, Hillary's emails, whatever.
The old lady used the wrong email.
Mark Maron.
No, I didn't know that. But
he's got a great bit on his last special. He's just like, maybe it was just a nice old lady who didn't know how to work her phone.
that's literally, no, that does make sense, because I remember, because I saw him in Rochester and he did do that joke, and that might have been where I just pulled it
When
from.
did you see him in Rochester?
That was probably 2 years ago or so.
It
was at like the something factor. No, not the Laugh Factor. No.
Chelsea and I were at that show. Unless there were two.
There was 2 nights of it, and
okay.
It was right by the pizzeria place, right?
It's like there's like a bar on the other side.
Yeah, it's like a little strip mall almost.
Yeah, it's like a weird strip mall, and like there's the club.
I think it was around.
And you go through you go through a little hallway, and then you're in the restaurant and bar area.
Yeah.
No, we definitely.
I actually really liked that place too.
It wasn't bad.
I think I liked it a little bit more than Helium, but I also like Helium.
Well, the thing with Helium is everybody sort of faces the stage. With this place, everyone was down rows, kind of facing each other, having to turn their chairs and look at the stage. That bothered me. Holy fuck! So we were maybe almost at the same show.
Yeah.
Did you go to a later one or earlier one? Or wait,
it was a later one because we had to leave at like 4 or 5 or something like that. I think it was like a 7 or 8 o'clock show.
Right, and you had to, but because you had to drive back to Buffalo.
Yeah. No, it was a good show. That was probably like top 3 that I've seen. I still think I saw Hannibal Buress a couple of weeks ago.
Oh shit, for real?
Holy shit! Probably the funniest comedian I've ever seen.
Dude, he's really funny.
And that tops Dave Chappelle. And I think I saw Chappelle. It must have been 2 years ago when he was at Shays, when he was doing his like comeback tours and stuff. And I think Hannibal Buress was funnier than Dave Chappelle.
But where did you see Hannibal though?
Helium.
Okay, when these guys are out there in the clubs hashing out shit to build their hour for their big set, I always feel like they do a better job in those little clubs because it's more intimate. It's a different vibe than being in a big theater. Chappelle, where'd you see him? Shays, you said?
Yeah. So
that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Now, I saw Bert Kreischer on my birthday, him and Nate Bargatze, and Kyle Kinane is a supremely underrated. Everyone who's listening, please go check his shit out. Kyle Kinane is a supremely underrated stand-up comic. Do you even know who he is?
No. What does he do? Comedy?
He does stand-up.
Comedy, man.
Have you you have cable?
No.
Have you ever watched Comedy Central and seen one of the things, and this is like, you're watching Comedy Central. That guy's voice, the gruff. Yeah. That's him.
Oh, okay.
All right, so just as a reference point for you to go, I do know anything.
Like I know
he's
that
done.
voice. Okay.
He has some really. So there's I think it's the comedy lineup on Netflix right now. He has a special in season 1. It's like 15 or 20 minutes. He fucking kills. He is a special out of Chicago. Here's the problem, because I don't have cable or access to a lot of Comedy Central stuff or Showtime specials. Mm-hmm. My specials are limited to whatever's on Netflix and whatever's on Hulu, which there aren't many. It's mostly on Netflix.
Has Hulu figured out their niche yet? Like, I know Netflix encompasses like pretty much everything, and like now it's Halloween time, so they're gonna start doing a lot of horror things. But what is Hulu's thing? Just like TV shows that like you kind of forgot about that you're like, I would really love to watch that again.
I watch Golden Girls on Hulu. I watch and by the way, one of the best fucking sitcoms ever.
Golden Girls?
Oh my god, hysterical.
Yeah.
The writing in there was vicious as fuck. I love
time period too.
On Facebook when you come across those, like, they were savage and like these quips they came back at each other with and just ripping each other down. It was hysterical because it was funny. It was supposed to be. It was, you couldn't do that today because everyone would fucking cry into their cereal about it. But that and I watched that, and obviously Seinfeld's on there.
That's kind of what I think. It's like Hulu's got Seinfeld, Netflix has The Office, so it's like it kind of depends. Like, what am I watching tonight, Seinfeld or The Office? Because God knows I'm not trying anything new.
But between the two, I have about 90% of what I ever want to watch,
right?
Which is why I don't need cable, except for the comedy specials on Comedy Central and Showtime and whatever. But anyway, Kyle Kinane did a great job too. Nate Bargatze and then Bert Kreischer, and it was really good. It was really, it was a great show. but it's a different feel in a giant theater like that.
Right.
Now the guys are crushing it. And they're making a ton of money because they sell the place out, and there's like 2,000 seats or whatever Shays is each time they go to a theater. That's awesome. But when I want to say, well, let's see, it was before Chelsea was pregnant with Nick, or was it after? No, it was before. We saw Joe Coy at Helium. Do you know Joe?
Yeah.
And I already was a big fan of his. I liked him from other stuff. His specials that I'd seen him on. He was on Chelsea Handler all the time, or Chelsea Lately, or whatever. That's the show that she had on Comedy Central. He murdered that room. And I love watching that happen because of the podcast, now that I'm on Twitter and Instagram, I'm watching my favorite comedians, and they all live in LA, and they all go to the store or the Ice House or the Improv out there all the time. And so I'm following all these clubs too, and I'm just seeing these guys, and I'm just like, I'll see this set, and it's like, set list coming up. We got Nate Bargatze, we got Kyle Kinane.
Yeah.
I just go, why the fuck don't I live in LA?
Right.
There's as such a huge fan of comedy, I'm look at this list, like they'll post the list, you got 10 o'clock, 10:15, whatever down. And it's just a normal, Thursday, Friday night. And I'm just like, I could go watch all of my favorites murder for like a few hours. That would be insane.
$10.
Yeah.
It's so cheap.
It'd be insane to watch. So,
which is also good because Crystalia is coming here, and we didn't get tickets, and I'm so pissed about it.
27th, right?
Yeah. I was like,
it's next Thursday.
Yeah, it's like, I think they're like $45, and it's like, I should just get them, but at the same time, I'm like, eh.
Well, it's UB too, so it's designated seats. So by now, it's going to be at the back of the theater, or the balcony.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing that sucks about that.
Yeah, and I know it's just, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that sucks about that. So I just fucking, but Kyle Kinane and them were just great. And so what was my point? You talked about seeing Hannibal. Okay, so a club versus a theater, right?
Yeah.
And just in the club setting, I just feel like a lot of those guys kill. And that's the thing that I noticed too. When you go to those shows, you see the local O. It's like, oh, he's pretty funny. Who's a guy he's from Buffalo, whatever. He's sort of established. Not James. Who was the guy who was an Edge DJ? He was an Edge jock that he did stand up a lot, and he actually.
It was like 5 years ago or something.
Not even that long ago, but. He left and he went out to California to pursue comedy. He left Buffalo, and he had a pretty big what is his name? He used to put on the comedy nights at usually at Nietzsche's, the Edge comedy nights featuring I can't think of his fucking name.
I think they pulled it from Nietzsche's and now they do it at Helium.
Do they?
Which, I mean, rightfully so.
Well, I mean,
Nietzsche's is that place you go see your friend's like psychedelic band when you've just like had 37 IPAs and you're like.
Yeah, I guess. I know. For me, it's anywhere that you can put up a show. Anytime you can give somebody an opportunity. I know that with Chris Ring's new place, Rec Room, I know that he was interested in maybe doing some open mic nights for comedy as well.
Is it open now?
Yeah, we actually the last podcast I talked about it was the day before this Monday. Actually, Monday.
I haven't seen like any inside pictures or anything.
Gary, Nicole, and I, my brother and sister, we went to see Face to Face on their acoustic tour.
Okay, how was it?
Oh, great. The room is interesting. It's long and shotgun, like waiting room. Not as wide, not as long. It's the old lodge. Yeah. Which Crocodile Bar before. The stage is a lot smaller, and it's right by the door. So when you first walk in, it's immediately to your right. It's a little bit of a weird spot where a band's playing and people are walking in, and especially if it's a quieter act. It's like people walking and go, hey, what's up? Talking kind of across the and like that kind of sucks, but it's a nice spot. Chris has done a great job with it. Okay. It's not quite finished.
I feel like they wouldn't fuck that up.
So it was a brand new sound system too. So it sounded incredible. Like everything sounded great, super crystal clear, and to watch. Actually, if anyone looked at my my Instagram story from that night, and if you did, I apologize for my god awful singing along with Face to Face. On Disconnected, I sang my goddamn heart out. It just sounded really good. It worked really well for like a full acoustic set. Right. I don't know how it's going to be for like a full band, but it's probably going to be solid.
Is there like a stage upstairs, stage downstairs, or is it just one?
No, because the upstairs is actually open air, so it's like a balcony kind of around, almost like Riverworks.
Oh, okay.
So you know how Riverworks is, but Riverworks is a massive, giant square. This is just a longer rectangle. I didn't get a chance to go upstairs.
Okay, because I was thinking, because I know that like when it was the lodge, it had like the seating area that was towards the front of the upstairs too, and I was like, did it? No, maybe. No, people were definitely upstairs. I didn't get a chance to go upstairs. Okay. But the funny thing is that it was their first show, and they didn't have where'd it go? They didn't have their liquor license yet, so we walked into it, and they handed you this
letter, this little letter to each guest, and says, "Dear guest, please excuse the dust. We are so close to completing, but just not there yet. In addition, we're also still waiting for our liquor license, so unfortunately we cannot serve alcohol tonight. Our apologies in advance for any inconvenience." And it goes on to say if you want to go to any of the places right there, on Chippewa to get alcohol and stuff, like, they've talked to them, like, they're cool, they're welcome to have your business, blah, 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 blah. So they allowed, re-entry with your bracelet or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I saw that and went, oh, this is going to be rough. Mm-hmm. Because
local or whatever across the street.
Yeah, you have there's places at the corner and in Soho and stuff. It's and it's Chippewa. It's a block and a half, and you can go to 7 different places, right, to grab something to drink. But they were offering free bottles of water and pop, as a a concession for thank you for still coming. So, and I know that. Trevor Keith, the singer for Face to Face, was just like, so we're the kind of the guinea pigs for this new space. He says, kind of feel like I don't remember. I don't want to do it any disjustice or injustice, because disjustice isn't a word. But he jokingly said, he goes, that's why nobody's singing along, because there's no alcohol in here, and everyone's like laughing. The singer for Wolf Tickets, who was the opening, like they're those guys, right?
Yeah,
they're from here. He was visibly hammered. He's just not like belligerent, but just like against the wall, kind of leaning, doing the lean back thing. And he's like singing along and shit, but you could tell he was like eyes closed. Oh, so they brought their own. Yeah. And Face to Face is up there, and he's just, but the room was like a third full. Okay. And I felt bad because this is just one of my favorite bands of all time. Like them and Hot Water, Snapcase, Tid. Those are like in the handful of my favorite bands of all time. So I felt bad for the turnout, but everybody that was there was super respectful. They all sang along. They all got involved. They did like a left of the room, right of the room, call and response thing for one of the songs, and everybody did it, even though nobody had any alcohol in them. Good. So it worked out well, but it was just one of those weird things where you walk in and like all the coolers, which would be full of bottles and cans of, are empty and lit up with just bottles of water, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. But it worked. Do this.
But it went fine. No, it really did. They did a great job, and the sound is great, and it's good space, and goddamn, there's TVs everywhere. There's those big the 3x3s. There's 2 of those on either side of the bar, one on either side of the bar. So they were playing like the sports games and stuff. So even though they're sports games, you can tell I don't watch sports.
It's a sport game.
I don't sport. But they had like the football games on because it was Monday night, and really nobody was watching the TVs. They were all on, but everyone was watching the show.
That's weird. Yeah, it's probably also because they didn't have alcohol. They couldn't just sit at the bar and just
Yeah, you get a little distracted. Like, flashing colors and lights. And but I was saying that the middle, who was like their touring guy with them, is this guy Austin Lucas. Are you familiar with him at all? He's out of Indiana. So he's a punk rock kid, right? You look at him, he's full sleeves. He's like, well, he's a little taller than you. He's like 5'8". But he's got like the vest and the full sleeves and stuff. And he's like, looks just like a punk rock kid from Indiana's the Midwest, right?
Yeah, they definitely.
North
to
south, but just left to right.
Midwest.
And he talked about it. He goes, I came from rural Indiana where he goes, punk rock kids like me got the shit beat out of us and blah, blah, blah. And we went through all this stuff. He goes, and you would look at me and think, oh, he's a punk rocker, but I'm a country musician. And it was just him and his guitar. And my God, and I talked about this on the last podcast, this dude's voice was incredible. His playing was phenomenal. And I know you've been to a lot of shows, both here and in other cities.
Yeah.
You ever been to a show where it's usually like a single guy, an acoustic act, right? So there's a large dynamic in the room for sound. And because they're not just full bore marshals or whatever, you can hear people's conversations and chit chat and stuff.
Right.
Normally that happens to the point where you can't almost enjoy the music, even if you didn't come there for it.
Somebody's in your fucking ear.
Right. That happened in his full set about 4 times, and people got stared down until they shut the fuck up. It was so quiet in there, you could hear a pin drop. It was amazing because everyone was paying attention to him.
Right.
They gave him the respect, and that was awesome. So much so that he would step to the end of the stage, past the mic, and still be playing his guitar, and he understands the dynamics of his instrument. Because, when you strum harder, it's louder. Yeah. He was playing along. He was singing into the room, no mic, full voice, and it just sounded fucking perfect. It was incredible.
That's awesome.
He got down off the stage and walked into the crowd as far as the cable would let him to do one of his last songs.
Nice.
Nobody really knew this dude. But I went and checked out his music afterwards. I was going to buy a CD, but the line was too long, so I'm going to order it from his website when they're back in stock. But what's the name of the record? Immortal Americans that just came out. It's on iTunes. I went and checked it out. Good stuff. It's full band though, and a little bit faster, so it's like
It's
not
still country-ish,
exactly.
though?
Yeah, definitely country.
But it's not like pop country. It's like folk country.
It's it's like full country. There are
Okay,
some
good,
more
good,
upbeat
good.
songs, but it's definitely folk
Good.
country. There are some videos on his website, austinlucas.com, where he's playing a couple different clubs, and it's like him and his full band. And he's got like a telly, so he's
Right.
plugged in, but it's still pretty. It's still
It's never
pretty.
going to be something you're going to see at Taste of Country, right?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, thank
Probably
God.
not.
Okay, 'cause then I would
no,
love it.
no, because that's all the pop country
Yeah,
stuff, and
not-
I've said before, and anyone who knows me, I'm not a country fan.
No.
Typically, but this guy was just really good.
Yeah.
And just the performance is something that unless it was captured into like somebody had their phone out recording the whole time or something, it's just not the same as what's on the record. It was
Right.
just this really sort of very intimate. There was an energy in the room.
He knew he was there, and you knew he was
I'll tell
there.
there was.
Everybody knew that
I
they
don't
were
know
there.
that I've experienced. I mean, in 25 plus years of going to concerts, I don't know if more than that. I don't know if I've ever experienced a performance where it was so intimate and there was just such an energy in the room.
Right.
There was just such love from like a handful of people for this guy who they didn't know at all, and they came here to see Face to Face, which is a straight up SoCal punk rock band, and this dude's out there playing country songs about not wanting to be alone in Memphis. By the way,
Good song.
Alone in Memphis, off of his second last record. I'm drawing a blank at the moment on what it's called. It is on iTunes. Great song on iTunes. The way that he did it there by himself.
Yeah, is it sort of like Ryan Adams-ish stuff, or is it more like more country than folk?
It's more country than folk.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah, he's definitely puts like the twanginess-ish into his voice.
Ooh, good.
And you look at this guy and you go, well, it makes sense coming from Indiana. You're around that. But dude, full, like I said, grew up in punk rock. He goes,
Right.
he's my age. He's 39. He goes, if you had told me 10 years ago I'd be touring with Face to Face, I would have told you get the fuck out of the room. You're insane. And he goes, this is just, this is a dream come true for me. And so I'm listening to the song, and it with the phrase is, I don't want to be alone in Memphis anymore, not just Alone in Memphis, which is what it's called. By the end of the song, the crowd who doesn't know him at all is singing the chorus along with him as it finishes. And
That's
just
awesome.
the guy, just a guy who knows how to work the room. And so the point I was making with that is the same thing when you see a touring act, right? So you have your local guy, right? And they're pretty good. And then you see the middler, which was this dude. Like, oh, okay, you can definitely tell
Yeah.
when somebody's better at their craft.
Like this, they've done this.
Yeah, and nothing against Wolf Tickets. They did take their regular songs, which they don't have acoustic versions of, and had to make them acoustic for the show. So they're a little out of their element. They're not, they're not acoustic musicians in that respect. So I'm not knocking them. They did a great job. But then to go to Face, where it's like the full band, and these guys have been playing, 27 years. I didn't even realize until he got up there. It's like, it's been 27 years. I'm like, holy fuck. And they're probably their most popular songs, and they made them into acoustic versions, and they
Right.
recorded them on the record. And it was just a really, real fun time, great set. But you can tell the difference in the level of performer when you get to that headliner usually. And it's the same thing. So, when I saw, we went to Helium, who was the headliner? Was it? I think it might have been one of the times that I saw, what's his name from the league?
Steve Rannazzisi.
Yeah, Steve Rannazzisi. So he came in. So there was a local guy, and then Dean Del Rey, who I was really not aware of until that show. And then after that, realized that all of my favorite comedians are friends with him. They all live in LA together. They know this dude. He got into comedy a few years ago, and he's like 50 now. He was doing all kinds of shit or whatever he was doing, and then he goes, I'm going to get into comedy. And he's really good. And you can tell the difference. And then Steve got up there, and and Dean did a great job. You could tell his level of confidence and just the fact that he's, toured, and the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Right.
And then you get to Steve, and Steve's just up there crushing. So it's like, okay.
He comes here a lot, and I'm like, I always say I want to go see him, but I never get to do it.
I've seen him twice. I think he's been here 3 or 4 times in the last few years.
I've seen Gilbert Gottfried 3 times, and I never like it. I never
Really?
know why. I never know why I keep going to it, and I'm just like, I think it's because the tickets are like $13 or free, and I'm like, I guess I could just go get annoyed for 25 minutes. Like,
Yeah, no, I've not seen him. I know he's been here a few times.
Yeah.
He actually came to the restaurant when I worked at Pano's.
oh, okay.
I think I'm in the picture that all the cast members, all of the staff members took with him. Yeah, I think it's on Facebook somewhere on my Facebook. It might be, but he was a very unassuming, quiet, very unassuming and quiet, and didn't do his full thing. And he was just like, "Oh, hey, thanks, that's my salad." He didn't do, he
Yeah.
wasn't him.
Like, I want that.
Right, because that's the character.
Where's my cheeseburger?
Right, exactly. Why do people? I know, so I'm not gonna do that. But
I just want to. Just kind of, he's like a cross between like an old woman and just like.
I just always think of the parrot from Aladdin.
Yes, Iago. Yeah.
So, funny. So slightly funny note on that, just because it's reminding me of it now. So, God, 2 years ago now, I want to say, I watched Bobcat Goldthwait's special that he has that's out on Netflix. And someone yells out Affleck at him. Affleck! And he goes, no, that's not me, actually. But it had just happened that Fukushima had happened. Not the tsunami that hit Japan that caused the meltdown of Fukushima power plant. And Gilbert Gottfried had tweeted something shitty about Japan. It was a joke, but it was off color, and it it turned the whole country on him, and like the country of Japan and a lot of people in America. And so Affleck dropped him as their spokesperson, and Bobcat goes, so I get the call the next day to see if I want to be the Affleck duck. It's just like, I'm like, everyone in the crowd, I'm like, did you take it? He's like, no, I didn't take it, but that would have been hysterical. It's just funny that they said it. He goes, people get us confused all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. When you're belligerently drunk at a comedy show,
I saw this comedian. He'll do the joke I shout.
It's
like shouting Freebird at us.
It's like shouting Freebird.
Every band must know how to play it because this is my thing on Freebird. People who like Sweet Home Alabama, that Sweet Caroline song. Every fucking wedding I have ever been to, especially in Buffalo, they'll do the shout song too. Mm-hmm. Why is that on the goddamn soundtrack or playlist? Like, I guess soundtrack for a wedding, but the playlist for a wedding. Like, why are those like? Do white people know the lyrics in these things? Like, is what I want to know. Like, because so like my cousin just got married, and she married a Puerto Rican guy, so like they did the ceremony like bilingual, and so it's like a bunch of Polish people are sitting there, like older Polish people are like from Buffalo are in there. And after the wedding, they're just like, they don't talk English. I just don't see why. I'm like, oh, good fucking Lord. They're like, they don't talk English. I'm like, well, clearly you don't either. But and I'm just like, holy shit. I'm like, I like that part. I'm like, I just thought it was cool because like this little old Italian priest is doing everything like bilingually. And I'm like, that's super rad. Like that he can do that. And he's like been like a West Side pastor for however long. Oh, and I'm like,
okay, so he's knows Spanish then.
Yeah, and I was just like, that's super fucking rad that he did that. So then we're at the wedding part, or like the fucking ceremony part. What is it? Ceremony? Not rehearsal, because that's the day before.
The ceremony? And then after that, the reception?
Reception.
Okay, yeah.
The receptacle. So we're at the receptacle, and like a Puerto Rican song comes on, and I'm just looking at all these drunk, middle-aged white people going around like singing what they think the words are. They're like, yeah. And I'm just like, like that's so offensive to even me. And I'm just looking, and I'm like, everybody was so confused. Like all the Puerto Rican families was so confused that like, what are these idiots doing? Do they know like the words? None of them speak Spanish, I'm sure. Right. But like maybe like one white person of that whole thing did. And then, which brings it back to the whole like the Sweet Caroline thing. I'm like, do people actually like this song, or is it just something like comforting to them that they've heard it so many times? They're like, I can shout these words. Like,
I don't know.
It's very strange to me.
I don't know the words very well. I mean, obviously everybody knows the whole chorus part, right?
Right. But Sweet Caroline, right? Isn't that it?
So Neil Diamond, obviously, this is maybe 15 years ago, I was working at a restaurant, and I was talking to this guy who I was friends with at the time. And he said, so I had tickets for at the arena to go see Neil Diamond with my mom. It's her favorite in the world, blah, blah, blah. So we went together, and it's toward the end of the show. It might have even actually been the encore. And I think it was the encore, and he comes out and he goes, all right, we're going to do one of the favorites. And he starts to do Sweet Caroline, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone's singing along, pop, pop, right? The whole thing ends, and he goes, all right, one more time. And they did it again.
Oh, my God.
And everyone's saying, and he's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Because it's really I don't want to say it's the only song that people know from him, but en masse, though, unless you're a real fan.
Yeah. It's one of those very strange one-hit wonders that he's more than that, but
right.
That song specifically.
But that song in particular,
like,
right.
It's like if you went to see like Metallica and everybody's like, go after Sandman 3 more times. Yeah, and it's like, please don't. It's very long.
Yeah. It's just, when he told me, he's like, oh, do it one more time. I'm like, why? Is that all you, Jesus. I guess.
Sleepy.
I guess. It's like, it's already after 11. It's like, the noise ordinance, we got to wrap this shit up. I need to go home.
Outside.
Yeah. The Uber's going to be a nightmare to get into. No, right? It's 15 years ago, but.
That was a goober back. That was just some creepy man in a taxi. They picked you up.
Yeah. But
no, I can't figure it out. I'm just like, all right, like the wedding was fine. It was a nice wedding. The food was great. I do like Pearl Street's wedding food, but I don't like the regular food, which is weird.
it had both, but I mean, the only time I had their wedding food was at my brother's wedding, which was 11.
Oh, okay. So it was, yeah.
Was it 11 years ago?
It was a while ago then.
Let's see. Paige is 19. She was, maybe like 8 years ago. I want to say it was like 8 years ago. So it's been so long I don't remember.
Right.
But I mean, their regular food's like it's okay.
Yeah, it's just
All
like
right.
bar food.
I
really.
like the. I mean, I like the atmosphere. It's a neat spot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool, the video games and shit that's cool. But
Yeah. It's cool that they did that.
But did they do any like ethnic stuff?
There was just,
like food wise, like Puerto Rican, Rican dishes?
Which was
or
really
just...
bumming me out because I really just wanted some like rice and beans and stuff and like plantains. And I was just like, oh fuck, I'm here sitting eating.
I know they do
pot
like
roast.
brisket and
Yeah,
stuff,
like,
depending on if they do
yeah.
the sit down or if they do the buffet. Like there's different options.
Yeah,
but...
they did the sit down, and I was like, I don't want pasta, I want my plantains.
What's some fried plantains?
Just sat there and pouted for 4 hours.
I'm not having any fun.
Give me the bananas. But no, and I'm like, oh god, why are they doing this? And then my aunt, she's like 72. She is basically like, she's essentially what I'm going to be, and like when I'm older, if I make it to 72, and that's just like, why am I around all of these fucking people? Like, but she does it in a way that she's just such like almost like a hipster about it, where she's just like, I'm better than them. But it's so true because I'm like,
she's better than the old people that
like,
are
she's
around her.
just better than everybody.
Oh, better than everybody.
Just like she just hates everybody.
She's in there just flossing.
Yeah, she's just like, and so I'm sitting like, so me and her clearly identify with each other, and we're just like, she's like, I just don't fucking understand white people, and I'm like, I don't either. Like, I'm like, they're just dance. She's like, yeah, she's like, I get it, dancing's fun, whatever. You got it. She's like, I'm not gonna do it, but for the people that are out there, she's like, they could be singing a song about like slavery, and because it's familiar to them, they're just gonna scream it out and recite it. Like they don't know what it is.
Yeah, I can see that.
There was a guy wearing a motocross like T-shirt at the wedding too.
Oh, that's nice.
Really threw me
Nice.
on.
Somebody pulled out their finest Tommy Bahama.
Yeah. Well, so there was a guy wearing a polo and like cargo shorts. And I'm like, number one, that's weird. Two, to wear it to a wedding, but then I looked and it was like a Knights of Columbus polo, and I'm like,
oh, okay,
motherfucker! Like, could you just put something normal on for a wedding? Like, I'm here, I have to give my money. I have things to do. I didn't really have anything else to do.
Yeah.
Well, no, that was Music is Art night actually,
okay.
And I really wanted to go because Beach Slang was playing for free, and I'm like, oh well, that will never happen here again,
right?
And they'll probably break up, I think, if they haven't already, But anyways, I wanted to go to that. I was like, oh, here I am spending money to be dressed uncomfortably.
Right, and not have plantains.
And not have plantains and tell my girlfriend, just go dance with somebody else because I don't want to do it.
Oh, boo.
I was just like, I'm just not a
bad
dancer.
move, dude. Bad move. Neither am I. I'm not a dancer either, but you got to get out there and dance with your girl. No. He's shaking his head. Hard no. Hard pass. Hard pass.
I'll do it at the other weddings. Like, I'll do it at like Jenna's because it'll be a fun wedding. It all depends on the wedding too. If it's somebody like I'm like very like comfortable around and like I like the general like area, like the people that I'm with, I'm like, I'll do it. Jenna's wedding will be fun, and then we're going to her friends or one of her friends' weddings. So I'm like, I'll dance there. I'll slow dance.
So it's a
there.
level of personal comfort.
Yeah, and I don't feel good around my family. they know what I am, and I know what they are.
They know what I'm talking about.
They know what I do. So yeah. No, it wasn't a bad wedding though. I just really wish that I had the plantains and that I,
plantains, beans, and rice, and
they did have. I think they had donuts as the dessert. That was cool. My other thing, and I think I mentioned this the last time I was here. What is everybody's thing with Paula's donuts? They're good.
I think we did talk about. I don't know.
They're not.
I don't know.
They're good.
I think they're. I don't. I try so hard not to eat sugar and refined carbs and stuff, and I fail constantly. But I try so hard not to do it that I don't know that I've sat down and had a taste test of.
Right.
Of like, well, it's like this
one.
red velvet donut versus this red velvet donut versus, whatever. And
because I don't have the time to go to 4 different donut places and lay them out like George's Twix lineup in Seinfeld. It's just at the end, like, they're all Paula's.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there is a difference. I like their stuff.
Yeah,
I do
they're good.
for sure. But
I think it's also one of those things where like we're Buffalo, we're better than everything. So this is our hometown thing, so we have to like it.
I don't know.
Like,
They're not even that old, are they? Paula's?
I think.
I mean,
70s maybe, 70s or 80s.
Well, I've only found out about them in the last few years.
Yeah,
now.
so have I. Yeah.
So
I think it was around the 70s or 80s they've been around.
Oh.
I mean, they've boosted their sales a lot.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. They've opened all kinds of locations and stuff, which is why I thought they were more recent. But...
Yeah, and they're putting one, I think, in like Larkinville or something. So
yeah.
That'll be cool for them.
Well, didn't Alton Brown, whatever.
Yeah,
he had one when he came here, right?
Yeah, I think he also said he didn't like the wings here. So, which I'm sure that just enraged
What he said, I think what he said is that when you go to Buffalo, you don't go there to get wings. I'm like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That's like going to Philly and not getting cheesesteak and going, no,
Right.
you don't come here to get cheesesteak. I'm like, or going to Chicago and not getting a deep dish pizza.
We're going to Chicago in November, and I've never been there, and I'm so excited.
It's supposed to be an awesome city.
Yeah.
I've never been. I mean, I've been into Midway a couple of times for about an hour, and that airport is garbage. But
that's where we're flying into, and I'm just like, I'm not renting a car. I'm gonna use it like a real city, and I'm gonna take public transportation.
Yeah.
Because we don't really have that luxury here.
Right.
We have a subway that goes 5 streets.
And they've talked about sending it into Amherst for like the last 40 years, and people are like, we don't want the city to have access. I'm like,
We don't want them scumbags.
it's like, oh my god.
Please. Like, dude, just what a horrible place.
No, I don't know. I love Buffalo.
I do, but
it has so much potential to be more than it is. But
it should be like the new Pittsburgh, basically, or Cleveland.
Well,
but it's New York, Texas, and New York.
Oh my God,
it's everything
no.
New York related.
That's what's killing it.
Yeah.
Well, it's part of what's killing it.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I love Pittsburgh. Great fucking city. Awesome city. Super
fun.
walkable. Really,
yeah,
really
and it's
fun.
like everybody's like, oh, it's so scary. I'm like, well, yeah, if you go to bad areas, it's
Yeah,
scary.
no, it's
But,
I like Cleveland too, but I feel like
love
Cleveland's more
Cleveland.
of like a strip along the water rather than with Pittsburgh. It's cool because it's at the point, so it kind of all is more centralized, kind of more like New York a little bit. Where with Buffalo, I mean, there's so much real estate and potential. I mean, yeah, you're gonna end up, maybe raising some neighborhoods in order to
Right.
put up, new construction, but
Right.
I don't know.
My favorite thing I think about Buffalo is that everybody seems to complain. Like, they're like, oh, our taxes are already so high, but there's nothing to do here. And I'm like, well, then you have to pay taxes to get things to do.
Well, I'm not.
If you want things to open around you, like in our neighborhood, like 4 years ago, I'm sure it was so shitty. But now it's like, it's nicer now. There's like coffee shops sprouting up. There's like little boutiques and stuff sprouting up. And I'm like, okay, so now I understand why houses are going to probably cost more here because
the thing is that
you have
everybody wants it right now.
Yeah.
And it takes time to develop things.
especially here.
Yeah.
Because we have 4 months that people can really be working.
Right. I mean, you look at the development at Harborside, and the Harbor Center and like Riverworks and Ironworks and all that stuff over there. Like,
I love Ironworks.
Just
I think
4
it's
years ago,
one of my favorite venues.
I was only in there once.
I saw Soul Patch there, and I was like, this might be my favorite venue in Buffalo.
Which time?
It was a Halloween show, I think.
Was it like 3 years ago?
I don't know if it was that long. Maybe a year or 2 years ago. I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure it was the Halloween one.
Because I went to we went to a Soul Patch show at Ironworks, I want to say like 3 years ago, and the venue was not prepared for the sheer volume of people that were going to show up.
Right.
There were 2 bartenders.
Oh my God.
And there was 1,200 people in that room. Like, it was sold out. It was sold out capacity. And there were people going, oh no, come on, just come on. Like, like friends or whatever, and didn't have to have a ticket, and they were probably breaking fire laws.
Yeah.
It was body on body in there.
It's
and
fun.
you
It's
just
a fun venue.
Just to grab my friends some drinks, it took me 35 minutes to get somebody, once I was at the bar, to recognize me. I ordered the stuff, brought them out. We're 40 minutes into that afterwards, and it's like, all right,
I need another drink.
they're like, you need another drink or whatever. I'm like, I'm going to try to go get my card.
Yeah.
And it was another 30 minutes of me standing at the bar with the 2 people. And God bless them, those bartenders, for not walking out.
Right.
I mean, they were getting they were just getting slammed. I mean,
Imagine the tips that night, though.
Maybe.
Yeah,
unless people get irritated they had to
Right.
wait so long. But they had a potential to make money, but they definitely needed way more staff on. And so I left my card and I came back and got it the next day. I'm just like, I left it at the bar and I just came back the next day. And
Right.
I'm like,
I'll pay the 15%
or whatever it was. Yeah. And I'm just, that's
Or I'll
fine.
just
Just
call
because
call my
seriously,
card holder and just be like, yeah, I didn't go to the
it took so long. It took so long. So that's really the only experience I have
Right.
there.
I like the sound. I like the feel of it there. I like the sound that they put out.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I'm gonna have to get to another show there just to get a better, have a better
Yeah.
experience with it.
Remember the Icon?
I said to my brother on Monday when we were at Rec Room, I'm like, whatever happened to Icon? I wonder if that's it.
So I think what it was well, it closed down of course. I don't know the reason. Maybe they just couldn't afford to keep it open. Like enough shows weren't coming through or something.
Right.
Because it was still in Buffalo. It was like kind of shitty and like nothing was really going on downtown.
Where
at
they
all.
were over and near Maine, it's a little sketchy, but it's
Yeah,
it's,
it was like what, like Ellicott and Chippewa or something. Like
yeah, and it's and just in the last it's I think 10 years since I saw.
Because they closed in 2007.
Yeah, Gary and I went and we saw Reggie.
That was probably the one.
I saw Cute with Reggie, and then I saw Lifetime's reunion tour. That has to be at least 10 years ago.
Oh yeah,
That's insane that was 10 years ago.
it doesn't feel like it.
No, but in that 10 years, that whole area has definitely...
It's changed.
It's changed a lot,
They
yeah.
put real sidewalks in.
Yeah, exactly. It's not
nice.
just like
Just
gravel
restaurants.
patches that you're walking on.
So I think that closed. Then, from what I remember, it was a girl got into a car accident. She took a settlement, and then with her settlement money, she bought that and turned it into like a nightclub, which failed. And then somebody else bought it and kept it as a nightclub, but turned it into like a gay nightclub. And I think everybody was still like, I don't know if I want to go there. And so that failed. And now it's just a vacant building. And I'm like, can somebody just buy it and reopen it? I liked it when it had the big pole in the middle. So you just try to avoid hitting that.
Yeah. I feel like the problem is that we're trying to retrofit venues into buildings that already exist in Buffalo, which are all long shotgun buildings with weird designs. Like Showplace, and which was completely redone, top to bottom.
Is it still open?
I don't think it's open. I don't think they ever actually were able to open it.
Right.
Whoever bought it, gutted it,
renovated it.
I think they redid the stage. They completely redid the sound reinforcement for everything. They leveled the floor. They put a shitload of money into it. I mean, I used to do sound there 20.
I remember when that was the bad area of Buffalo.
17,
like,
18 years.
even
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Now I'm just like, it's just sketchy. It's whatever.
My mom would go, "Don't go down there. You're gonna get jumped." Or I'm like, I mean, maybe. But we played a lot of shows there.
Yeah, it's like.
But they put a ton of money into it, and I don't think anything ever happened. And I remember seeing it maybe last year, or possibly as much as 2 years ago. It was for sale, and Rob Karp posted it to his Facebook. He was like, "Who wants to buy the venue with me?" Like he was half joking, but I
think they wanted to do like some like Section 8 type things with it or something like the apartment's right by it.
Yeah,
I think that's what they were thinking about doing, but I don't think anything ever came of it.
So I mean, it's just if it's there, it's sitting there with probably a full brand new, not even used sound system in there, just collecting dust, and that's
or hopefully nobody stole it yet.
Hopefully, that was the fucking place.
I love that.
That was the place. That was the venue where most of the shows, that Mercury Theater, which has been torn down since then.
I don't even know if I was around for that. I was probably in Texas or too young.
So if you go to Grant, like on Grant, Showplace is on your right. When you hit that side street, or the next street, and you turn right,
military or whatever?
Yeah, I think it was military's down a little ways, and then on the right. We played a lot of shows there too, and that was a weird setup.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
But I mean, we used to play there we played there a lot too, and that was like a punk rock, hardcore ska venue. It was like a lot of fun, and I know since then it's been torn down. But
so I remember Ambet's shows for like all the old hardcore shows. Where was that? And I'm trying to think like, where did they play which Ambets was it at? Not like the store, but like they'd be like, oh, we're doing an Ambets show, and it's like, and I can't remember where the hell it was. But I want to say it was like in that like Black Rock area.
I don't know.
Because I remember Rhinoceros played there a lot, and By Autumn's End played there.
I don't know if I might have been out of the scene by then. There was a lot of shows at Discovery Records in North Tonawanda, actually the city of Tonawanda. So upstairs from the record store, he had a space that he would have shows at all the time. People brought in their own PAs. There was like a makeshift stage and stuff.
Right.
A lot of like hardcore ska and punk shows there. But the floor, which was the roof to the record store, became so unstable that they actually had to shut the whole thing down. And then, what was his name? Gary. Gary? Tell me his name. Text me.
What was it?
Earl was the guy. He was the guy who owned Discovery Records. He ends up selling the store and then moved to Seattle and became an underwater welder.
I mean,
it's dangerous work, but there's a shitload of money in it.
I would do it.
But yeah, so there was Discovery Records upstairs, and then there was the Nativity. There were nativity shows in there. Where was the Nativity?
Like Jesus?
Yeah, like the Nativity Church.
Oh,
I want to say on Sheridan? Maybe I'm wrong. I went to a few shows there. I don't remember where the hell it was, but it was not like quite in the city, but they had basement shows all the time. And I think that's the first time I saw Snapcase.
Oh, okay.
Was at a nativity show.
It was like an old...
Oh, like way back. Yeah. Way back. When they're... like that's how long I was still in high school. Me and Fat Kid and Steve-O, so Scott and Steve, and myself and maybe a couple other people went to this show, and it was just, he said, yeah, we're going to, and I didn't know anybody on the bill. And I think that's the first time I saw Snapcase. I'm like, holy shit, these guys are amazing. And then they got off the stage and they were all shorter than me. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I know that. It's kind of like the guy from Dillinger.
Yeah. Well, that was before Frank was with them, and Frank's about 6 feet. And John's not short, but I just remember, maybe it was probably just Daryl, because Daryl got off and he was like carrying something. I'm like, oh, you're smaller than me. That's weird.
You're a little man.
Hell of a voice on him, though. Guy can scream like nobody else. To that point, just because we probably have to wrap up. Yeah, getting up there. Every Time I Die Christmas show has sold out.
It did.
And did you get tickets?
No.
Oh, dude.
No, we were gonna buy it, or I was gonna buy them last year when, like, you know, the day of or day after, whatever it was.
The next day, yeah.
And I'm like, nah. I'm like, I'll see who it is, and I'll just third party it or something like that. And now I'm looking, I'm like, should have got them, because they were on sale for like a day and they sold out.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'll still find a way to get it. That's how I got them. I think I got them last year. Was I just like posted something and I found somebody?
Yeah, like coming up to
There's
the
always
day of, people will still be trying to move them on Facebook.
Yeah, and they'll be like, okay, I'll let it go for $40. I just can't get to it. So
yeah,
I'm like, okay.
But the fact that Snapcase is also playing on the bill is just, those are two of my favorite, if not my two favorite bands of all time.
Oh yeah,
both just happen to be from Buffalo, and they're fucking playing this.
I like that Menzingers are playing. That alone would be worth it for that. Would be
I'm not super familiar. I did see them ballroom with somebody. Chelsea, we went, and she's like, "Oh, they're one of my favorite bands." I'm like, "Cool," and like they put in a good show. I didn't know their music, but they were
a little bit older too.
They were yeah, they're probably like my age, 40-ish, maybe a little older. But no, they put in a good set. I just don't know their music, but they've been here at least once since then too, once or twice. I feel like I've seen them on shows.
They played Mohawk not too long ago, even, which was really weird because I was like, it's kind of a bigger band. Why are they playing Mohawk?
Yeah, there's
a really good show tonight at Mohawk. I'm just not in the mood to go. It's Bully, Made Violence playing, and Jeff the Brotherhood, Uncle Jeff or something. I don't know.
I clearly don't.
So I don't know, but three really good bands.
I don't know who any of these
Made
bands
Violence
are.
from Buffalo, so I'm like, I should go, but I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the cider mill and go to bed.
I think that's part of the reason that I get so excited when bands that I grew up with go back out on tour, or they do whatever, and they come to town. So the fact that Snapcase and E-Tit are playing the Christmas show, that's my mecca, because I don't listen to new music.
No, me neither.
I don't. And
Not really.
I don't. My daughter texted me yesterday and she said, what are some of the bands that you used to listen to when I was little? And I'm just like, this is a great question. Do you really want to know them? Or are you trying to figure something out? Do you have a test in school? You're writing a paper.
Are you trying to do this comprehension thing, or like one of those, like, what is it where you're trying to like compare two things, and that's gonna help you remember, like,
right,
I like peanut butter and jelly,
right? Yeah. And she goes, no, there's just there's these lyrics stuck in my head. There's part of a song stuck in my head, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. And she sent me the lyrics, and I'm like, shit, I don't recognize those. So I Google it, and there's like 1,000 different bands and songs that have these, because they're this is a very generic line. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. It's in my phone. It's like, and so I come back and I'm like, it could be any of these things, but it could be a number of bands. And none of the bands listed, none of the songs listed were any of the bands that I listened to.
Right.
But I texted her like a list of, the list of the ones I could think off the top of my head that I knew I listened to regularly. And I said, can you just take a look at these? She goes, I'll try to figure it out. Do you have any idea? And I'm like, I don't know the tune that's playing in your head.
Right.
The words aren't going with any music, so I can't really. She goes, oh, that's fair. But when she texted me, I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool. But I don't listen to new stuff at all. I don't
want to. I think I still like going through my Spotify. I think there's 4 bands that I actually listen to, and I'm like, oh yeah, these people haven't put anything out in a while.
Yeah, it's like when the new Blink record came out. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll check it out. And then I listened to it, and I really like this. And I was kind of iffy on it at first because
I like Skiba.
The thing is, I was iffy on it because of Skiba. I'm like, it's not gonna be the same. And then I again, I follow them on Facebook, so a video came up when they were tracking, and he was doing raw vocals for the first track. And I'm just like, oh, that sounds off key and stuff. I'm like, oh wait, fucking Pro Tools, they'll just fix it. And I'm like, and then I listen to the record now and I go, oh, this is really good. And then I see that the producer is somebody that I historically dislike because of what he did to my boy Tommy. Another story for another time. I think I've told it on here before, but it just really pissed me off. And it's outside of realm of my control. I wasn't even in contact with Tom when this happened. It was afterwards that I found this out, but But it's something that happens often with when he does stuff. But his records always come out super crazy, glossy produced, and they sound awesome. And outside, like, I think it's really great. So I saw that. And then when the new Thrice record came out, not this new one that's coming out now, I think it's Palms, but the one that just came out last year, 2 years ago, completely, a departure from Artist in the Ambulance, it blew me away, that record. And this new one is definitely, it's still heavy at points and stuff, but it's more folky. Have you listened to it at all?
No, but I'll check it out.
It's really,
I don't remember that. What was the guy you were talking about earlier? I'm going to put it on my phone.
Austin Lucas, Lucas. But that Thrice record was great too. And, I keep waiting for, like, another Lifetime record would be awesome, but that's probably not going to happen. And then it's just me kind of going, why can't my favorite bands from back when we were all much younger kid, 20 plus years ago, put out new records that sound, that's the dude. Yep.
That's the guy? Okay. That's Teeth.
Well, Indiana, I mean.
It's true.
He, if you look at the images, he actually used to be really heavy. He's like 5'8". He used to be really heavy. So he lost a lot of weight. Good for him. That's always a struggle.
They're playing in Ben Salem.
But
I'm like looking through like the tour dates. I'm like, oh, when are they coming here? And then you just
he was just here. But
came. Well, they're playing Nashville soon. I do want to go back.
Yeah, and that's a great fucking town for that kind of shit, for just in general. But
that's kind of what I'm picturing the rec rooms like, is a lot of like Nashville places where you walk in, bars to the back, and then stages right up front. And that's and like, I guess that's how like a lot of places in Austin work.
Is it? Bars also, when you walk in, stage is immediately to the right, and it's
pretty much, it's almost like gated off with like those metal security bars, or like not bars, but
like chain link fence.
No, it's like they're more like parking lot blocks or like blockades where like you can snap them together, or the people that are working it, they're like, I'm trying to, if I drew it flat at the bottom, and then they kind of arch and then go over, and they're just like metal slats kind of. So like,
okay, like so
they're essentially barriers.
Okay, barriers, like portable barricade.
Yeah, but but they're kind of just stacked on top of each other. Like, this is probably every bar I've ever been to in Nashville and Austin.
And they're just kind of like welded together so that they don't.
Yeah, and it just separates it, and then they have like a sheet draped over it so you can't see from the side that I guess the guy because I'm sure like when people are walking in and out constantly, it's distracting the band and stuff. Yeah. Like, it's just something you catch out of the corner of your eye.
I think it's like solid wall till the end of the stage.
Okay.
When you come in. Cool. So, but the stage is right there. And then, so again, as you're walking in on the right, and then the bar just goes down the wall here. And there's like sort of like tables and the sound thing. And then the staircase at the back that goes up to the upstairs. So no, it's a neat spot, and I'm excited to see more stuff there. I'm excited, I'm happy for Chris that he was able to get this spot up and running. It's seemingly quickly I'm sure it takes a minute, from the closing of Waiting Room, it takes a minute to,
such like
find a new spot, get your shit together.
Yeah.
I mean, and if the lodge, say, was closed already, but was still full of stuff, it's like, we got to knock everything out of there and then
bring all the shit out.
And if you're, if the former owners own all the stuff, then they have to get it out and or sell it. And if you buy it lock, stock, and barrel, then if you don't need it, you need to get it out.
Yeah.
And so I do know that he said that they're going to be opening the kitchen in
they're doing
October. Yeah.
Okay. I know that they kind of tried that with Waiting Room, and it didn't. It was cool that they had it, but I don't think it went like full on. But that place wasn't really designed to be a kitchen,
right?
But this was a restaurant.
This was a restaurant, right? So at the end of the bar, there's like a foot, and then there's the doors to the kitchen.
Okay.
And so actually, Donnie Walker, do you know Donnie?
I don't think so.
So Chris's cousin Donnie, they used to be in the Budgets together and a bunch of other stuff. I've known Donnie and Chris for years. Donnie's going to come into the kitchen and open that up, and they're going to do like nachos and like snacky stuff. He said nothing crazy, but I'm like, that's fucking great. Like, whatever.
Yeah, like that's awesome to have at a show.
At a show, or if they do like some comedy night stuff, or if they do some other for whatever kind of events they can do, that's awesome to have that.
I hope they do the karaoke again.
They're going to be doing live band karaoke. They're going to be doing punk rock karaoke. So I think the hip hop karaoke, though, that's a different thing. That's over at that's two other people, and they're doing it at Ironworks.
Donnie and Gabby.
Just because they bring so many, he goes, we're not big enough to facilitate it, and he goes,
when they did it at Waiting, that was like, I think one of the first ones that like they were doing, because like Donnie's pretty much just been always tattooing me, or Zach has. And
Donnie, what? Because Chris said his name and I didn't recognize
Don Arthur.
Yeah, I didn't recognize
his wife is the one who's like the DJ for it and stuff.
Okay.
Gabby. But no, they bring in a huge fucking crowd. They're like, and he's like the nicest dude ever. So he's like, yeah, man. He's like, I'm sorry if I can't get you guys on tonight. I'm like, no, it's fine.
What's hip hop?
Hip hop karaoke?
What's that draw? Like he said, it was hundreds.
Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, they maxed out whatever the top of the waiting room was the one day, and then the bottom I know was bigger, so they maxed that out a few times.
I think it was 250 upstairs and 350 to 4 downstairs, or was it 5 downstairs?
Yeah, it was a lot.
Because I talked to him the one day, because I don't know, and Chris knows these numbers off his head. He's like, well, ballroom's like 11. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't realize it was that big.
It's huge. It doesn't seem that way because it's kind of like
because of the way it's tiered.
Yeah,
the way it's tiered, it doesn't seem that big. But yeah, it holds a shitload of people. But yeah, he said so they are going to be doing those, and he wants to do a live band country karaoke. They're getting it.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
Close cowboy down.
Yes, exactly. And, again, not my thing, but still fucking cool because there's so many people who love country music, and you get a good 15, 20, 30 songs together of all the pop country that's big right now.
Yep.
You can fill that place in an evening without trying. And he's also
and there's so many people that can just play easy country riffs.
Oh, for sure. And he's looking, obviously just the general foot traffic along Chippewa, so that's which you didn't necessarily have over on Delaware.
Right.
So things are looking good. And I'm
that's true. Yeah.
They're looking up, and I'm happy for them, and it's going to be good shit.
It's a cool venue. Then I want to go in and check it out. I know there was some like hardcore band that was or metalcore or something like that was going to play it, but I think they canceled and moved the show, or they just didn't.
They had at least one, if not two. I feel like I saw on Facebook where they had to cancel it.
I think that was one. It was back in August. So
and I think there was one maybe, and I could be making this up. One that they were able to relocate to a different venue.
Okay.
But just because they just couldn't, opening a spot takes a minute.
A lot of insurance.
Yeah, insurance and just and just all the work too for whatever you're doing. Painting, changing, whatever. So, I'll say this: currently in the state they are, the bathrooms are very nice and clean.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah,
I like the waiting rooms bathrooms too.
There's a those were
I
cool.
think the waiting room was probably my favorite venue that we've ever had besides Ironworks here.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, damn it, dude! Why do they have to what? Not them, but like
whatever
the whole thing was. Why did they have to close? Why did they have to? Why did they have to get fucked up? But
I mean, that really was a good spot. And to have the two spaces, that were both yours to go, I have these options, or I work with these other venues too.
It was always so sick because like a show would let out on the bottom, and then like karaoke would go on up. And I'm just like,
oh yeah,
perfect.
I wish I'd stayed around when I saw the Get Up Kids downstairs, and then they went upstairs and they played. Mm-hmm. They went up on stage. Half the guys went up on stage and played Get Up Kids songs and let people sing to them.
There was a night that I think it was the punk rock karaoke that they did, and I remember people were just like, I don't think it wasn't like Ring or anybody like associated with After Dark. They're just like, you're gonna want to come tonight. You're definitely gonna want to be there. It's. We're not kidding. I know we say this every week, but you're really gonna want to be there. And Ita did like a secret show.
Oh yeah, and
I
heard about that.
Fuck, man.
Yeah,
I lived like a mile from it, and I didn't go.
Yeah, same. Waiting room is not far from here, but and just to see that It breaks my heart a little when I drive by and I see that the outside banners come off and you see Sinful underneath the one side, the one awning. I'm like, oh, God, yeah. What a waste.
What was there before it?
Before Sinful, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sinful was it was just a nightclub.
Remember when that, well, it's the Westin now, I think, or whatever, the W, I don't know, whatever the fuck it is. How it was that wraparound, it almost looked like a French Quarter type building.
Where?
It was on Delaware and Chippewa, before they put the hotel and Patina 250 or whatever it is over there.
Okay.
It was where it was the original building, but it just wrapped around. It was that's where Bada Bing was, and then it was
yeah.
And there was some whiskey bar before it was whiskey bars.
Right. Yeah.
And it was
so the corner. So Bada Bing was one of the corner, but it was Quote and Purple Monkey.
Yeah.
Was in that spot. Quote, Purple Monkey, and one other thing.
It was the Red Eye Saloon or something like that.
And then
nice. I missed that.
Yeah.
I want the old Buffalo back. Stop coming here.
That was such a dive corner there too. It was like,
so good.
So it was great. I mean,
so dungy and the best.
I'd say put that on Alan, but Alan's fucking sketchy as shit.
Now everybody's like, dude, this is the thing I don't get. I know you're gonna run out of time soon, or if not,
it's right. No, we're right.
But when everybody that lives on the homeowners on Cottage and College and stuff, they're like, we can't have more bars. It's like, you bought a fucking house in a bar district.
Thank you.
And it's like, I understand 25, 30 years ago that wasn't what it was, but do you want to be able to sell your house and get a shitload more for it now?
Because it'll turn over for more now.
Yeah, you bought that for let's say 50,000. You're gonna get 150 for that thing now, for that small little cottage.
If you did no updates at all, you'll get that much. If you did updates,
200. And I'm just like,
that place that's next door to you guys, that's next door to Jenna. She posted it, and it was 215 on the west side.
It was, and it's not even no. I think
it was over 200.
I think Rob actually ended up selling that one, or somebody in Rob's company did. Yeah, but they just put the sold sign on it yesterday. But I think it went for 180 maybe. And And
That might have been highballing, but when I saw it was single family, right?
Single family,
and it was
2
over
floors.
200. And I'm like, that's insane. But
yeah, and it wasn't that nice of a
yeah, it's not like
place.
they did a bunch of renovations to flip it or anything.
Yeah,
They were just selling it.
Jenna said she saw the inside of it. I didn't see it, but still, like, the outside needs a lot of work. And, like I said, like, the neighborhood's not, like, bad, but it could be a lot nicer. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to worry about, like, walking out to my car and stuff
Yeah.
once in a while, but I mean, it's not really, like, for me, if it was just me there, I'd be like, whatever, I'd do whatever, but, like, I don't want to worry about, like, Laura having to go out to her car and just
Yeah.
being like, hey, did you make it? Like,
That, that's
and now that parking tickets are $40, I'm not a big fan.
oh, they raised them?
Yeah, I got one today.
The son of a bitches.
That was my fault. I came back from Big Ditch, and I'm just like, I'll move it in the morning. 'Cause
Didn't get up to move it in the
didn't
morning.
get up to. Well, I was up. I just was like, there's something I have to do, and it's not number one.
Something I'm forgetting.
I was gonna set an alarm, but I'm like, I'll be up. I'll remember, but I didn't,
Yeah.
and now I have to pay the price for my stubborn.
And people ask me like, why do you want to live in the city? I'm like, well, I mean, because it's fucking great. I don't know.
Right. I like being close to everything. As much as I don't like being around people and talking to people all the time, I like being close to everything. But
my thought is it's like you're just like, oh, Buffalo kind of whatever. And I'm like, I think I like it. You've traveled a lot more than I have.
Yeah.
You've been to a lot more places where you've seen like potential. And I'm like, that's awesome. For me, that's that hope of the potential.
Right.
It's like
That's
by
why
the time I'm 60 and 20 and a half years from now or whatever, will we have executed on our potential and continue to grow the city?
I hope so, because it's finally going in the right direction. The thing that bothers me, and it's not even Buffalo, it's the surrounding areas. It's like the suburbs that are just all like very closed-minded about everything. They're like, I don't want this. I don't do this. Don't change anything. Just keep it the way it is.
Yeah, it's just
keep my flamingo in my front lawn.
sprawled and awful. And I just,
Yeah.
my dad asked me, why? I'm just like, because I like the city. I love the city.
Yeah.
And I know there's potential for growth here in the future. And there's already been so much that's happened just in the last 5 to 10 years that it's worth my time to stay here. I like that.
Right.
But also, and maybe not more so, but definitely equally, I fucking despise the suburbs.
Oh yeah,
I despise them.
I said if I was ever gonna do it, it would have to be like Hamburg or Tonawanda, where there's stuff to do and that I can walk to, and there's gotta be something. And I don't even walk to anything now. But the fact is that I want it to be close enough that if I want to do it, I can do it.
Like there's
got to be a good coffee shop. There's got to be like a venue.
I just feel like, and I know in like different surrounding suburbs, there's like, oh, they have this cool Thai restaurant or whatever. I'm like, everything is within, at the worst with traffic and lights, 20 minutes and no snow within the city limits to go from one end to the other.
Right.
To go
Buffalo's
to
not that big.
or even less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's actually way less than 20 unless you hit traffic at right at rush hour and you hit every light and it's like, damn it, it's maybe 17 minutes.
Right.
To get, because of the 5, to get to Hamburg, to get like Lakeview in Hamburg where Chelsea's mom lives, to bring the baby over there, it's 20.
Yeah.
It's like 20. To get to the Galleria, if I pop, over on
15 minutes.
15.
Yeah.
12, 15.
You guys are you're pretty much right on the entrance to it. Too.
Yeah, we're pretty centrally located. At least, I'm centrally located to most things. But to get to Tonawanda, it's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. It can take up to 35 or 40 minutes,
depending
on traffic, and if there's snow involved and it's like shitty driving, it takes to take the baby out there to my parents or to pick him up or just to go visit or whatever.
Yep.
It's at least a 30-minute drive.
See, if I was like right on like that like Sheridan 290 area, I'd be like, okay, this is fine. This is doable. It's close enough to the city to where I can get to everything. I could just be like, okay, I'm just going to hop on the 290 and I'm there.
Yeah.
It's a 10-minute drive, but I'm like going into like NT and like, dude, Lockport, I don't even know how the fuck those people survive out there. It's so like, it's built up to where it's a suburb and you would think there'd be a lot more stuff to do, but there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
And they're still so far away from the city. I'm just like, how does this lurk?
Yeah.
And Niagara Falls is not a gem by any means.
No, it's not. I mean, in Lockport's, like the city of Lockport's kind of, like they have some nicer stuff like right on Main. It's like, it's cute little shops and restaurants, whatever. But yeah.
They have the ice cream.
But like, that's it though.
Yeah. I'm not going to buy a house just because I can go get ice cream here.
Right. Exactly.
I can walk to Tops right now and do that.
I mean, I don't know. There's just, so that's where I am at with the city. It's like, when I went to Charlotte for my cousin's wedding last July, that city's gorgeous, but it's also brand new.
Right.
I mean, it's 20 years old if it's a day. Like, it's brand new. Everything is gleaming skyscrapers. It's the second largest money district in the country after New York. It's beautiful.
Right.
Well, I liked that about it, but I also love like the grit and the architecture of Buffalo, and just
right.
like that we can incorporate stuff around it, and there's so much, there's just potential here.
That's
And
why I'm like that's why I like Austin and Nashville, because it's like they're older cities, about maybe a little bit, maybe not as old as Buffalo, but
Yeah.
they still have like really nice architecture, and they still have really nice, and especially like in Austin, it's like you get like all like the Mexican influenced buildings, and I'm like, these look so fucking sick. Like I just love how this looks down here. But they also have brand new stuff, and they're still finding ways to use the old buildings. But here it's just like, just let it go to shit.
yeah,
Somebody will buy
depends.
it.
Like,
yeah.
what's the
Like, the
fucking,
thing- the
what's
thing I like
what's the hotel?
Oh,
The Curtis.
Yeah.
The Curtis. Like they
redid
redid that. That's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they're doing with what's the other one? Right on Delaware, right near the Circle. Statler. They
don't think
bought
they're
that
doing
however many years ago.
Yeah, think they're not going to turn that into. I think they just do like weddings.
I think the guy spent what 1.1 to buy it and just put up the scaffolding around it, not to do anything, but to protect people from falling debris.
Pretty much, yeah.
That was, and I think I don't want to talk out of school. I'm pretty sure that was the first
It was the first
hotel
with indoor plumbing.
With indoor plumbing.
Yep.
Yeah. Did we talk about this last time?
I don't think so, but I remember hearing it like on a paranormal podcast.
Yeah,
and I was like,
it was
okay.
it was the first hotel
Yeah,
with indoor
yeah.
plumbing in the country, and Buffalo was one of the first cities with
We were the richest.
with streetlights.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was super weird.
It was
And
crazy.
North Tonawanda was one of the last cities to outlaw the whole, what was it, like the streetlight rule or whatever. That was like, once the streetlights go on or something like that, then like minorities had to be inside, but like white people could just freely roam.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, we were one. They were no, they were one of the last like towns or cities to outlaw that.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's probably why I get the bad rap for Western New York. Okay, that's why I don't like it sometimes.
I don't know. Like,
And it's not even it's not even that I dislike Buffalo. I'm just like, there's so many things that I'm like, why can't we? Like, why did it take so long for us to get Uber and Lyft?
yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of that has to do with Albany.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is just Albany's fault for the
like,
majority of these things.
bringing it back around-
we probably would have a lot more if it wasn't for Albany.
Bringing it back around to the top of our conversation to wrap it up. It's not this country or this town that sucks. It's the government. It's the elected officials who keep trying to fuck us over.
Give me my illegal weed and leave me alone.
Yeah, bring that. What? That's an entire podcast for another time. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that a fucking plant is.
That
has
literally done nothing to
I could talk
anybody.
another hour about that. I've listened to so much Rogan talk about it, and it's just like it's completely absurd to me that that's even a thing. That it's a Schedule 1, and people go away sometimes for life
because they have it on.
because, and I can't. I just can't. I can't get started on it. But yeah, awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
Well,
All right. Fantastic.
I'm gonna get swole.
Everybody. He's gonna go get swole. I'm gonna probably vacuum and sweep and Swiffer, and I'm
It's a hot
gonna
day.
dad around the house and fold some laundry, and
Where's the baby?
I'm gonna watch my stories.
daycare?
He's at daycare, yeah.
Okay.
And this one, yeah. No, I'm proud of this one. This is gonna be good.
Yeah, I don't know what we talked about today.
It does. You know what? I don't remember either, and it's cool. I
go
I
back.
managed to bring it back around though. To
I
the
know
top
there
of
was a
the
talk
story.
about plantains, and I was mad about that because I didn't get the plantains. Which also, thank God that somebody in my family finally married, like, I don't want to say somebody to piss the rest of the family off, because I love him. Everybody loves
Somebody
me.
just bucked the system.
Somebody
and
was just like, you know what? There's nothing wrong with dating outside of your culture.
There's not.
And they're like, oh wait, there's not.
There's not.
Like, she just like, I think she turned everybody's head in our, and like the 50, 60 plus people that were there, 100 plus probably, then they were just all like, oh my God, they are allowed to do this. This is very nice. Like, wow, we had fun today.
Someday we're all gonna be gray, brother.
I can't wait. It's
It's gonna be so good.
I hope so.
I mean, it'd be well after we're dead, but
But still,
you know what I mean? It's just like
I just want to be.
we're all just people trying to make it. All this hatred and negativity and
It's gonna be over soon.
just this.
Well, 4, 5, 6 years. 6 years it'll be over.
I think it'll take a couple generations to really filter it out all the way, but it's so unnecessary, man. Everyone's just on this rock trying to fucking make it through. We're just trying to gut it out.
Nobody wants to be here.
Yeah, no, I love being here. I love being alive. I might be depressed a lot of the time, but I mean, I love the fact that you get to be. Come on, what's the number on the chance of the amount of sperm? It's like 1 in like 100 billion or something like that, or whatever chances of a lifetime that my dad, and then here I am. Like it's insane. Right. It's insane to think about the fact that you exist as a person. The chances are so astronomical that is why you're here. why be upset about stupid horseshit? Like, why get upset
Right.
about things, you know?
Which
I
I
think
feel like things should just be free. I think food should be free, but if you want something specific, then you purchase it. I think everybody should get like little nutrition cubes for free from the
nutrition
guy.
cubes.
Or like just give me my gray muck and let me eat. But then if I want a burger, I'll go buy the burger.
Yeah.
And that's where I think.
I I don't know. I understand.
Eat your muck and go to bed.
Yeah, the dynamic of needing everybody, like
Yeah.
farmers and all the way down the line.
Yeah.
I just think that
I think that necessity should be free. Like, why am I paying for water? Well, I'm
Well,
not Jenna is, but like,
right.
why am I paying for water when
so
I need water?
Things like that. I think because of the way the taxes are structured, and when we're getting fucked by the top anyway. But I'm not talking about equality of outcome.
Power
I'm
tax.
talking. Equality of outcome is an insane concept. Equality of outcome doesn't make sense. Equality of opportunity makes sense. For everyone to have the same opportunity to expand upon what they're capable of doing, to exceed
Right.
and to be
Give
successful.
them the option.
That's great.
Like the Amish people. But you can go out and enjoy that free world.
Sure.
Or you can stay
Yeah.
here with us. But if you do it, this is what you're going to get into.
But equality of outcome is Marxism, and it just doesn't work. That's not, and I'm not for that. One of the things that's been talked about recently, and I think Hawaii is trying it out, is universal basic income. Each citizen in the state of Hawaii, and I don't know how it breaks down with the different islands and stuff, but I don't know how long. I think maybe they're only doing it for a year, but each month, each person who is a individual who exists, who's registered as a resident of the state, gets X amount of money from the state government as their universal basic income. So things like rent and like food and shelter and clothing are things that you shouldn't have to worry about. This is a concept that Joe Rogan talks about often. A lot of the way smarter than me people that he has on talk about it as well. I know they do it in Denmark. I could be off on the country.
A happy
but
country.
somewhere over in like that eastern to northern European area. They have implemented it. And just the idea is that each person gets enough to be able to survive, therefore taking the strain of the worry about things like rent and food off of them so that they're able to do better at their job or whatever their job, or find a job to be able to go out and actually exceed the expectations for themselves, to better themselves and to therefore better their society.
Right. And it's not like, okay, here's free housing because, it's like people will be like, oh, that's what the projects are. It's like, it's not what it is. That's because people can't go and get these things done.
Right.
Because like, it's not because people are fucking lazy. Let's be honest here. It's because people don't have the ability to like go out and get the job that you think they should have.
Yeah.
I would love to fucking sit there and like tell my family how many times like, okay, then I belong in the fucking projects, and because I don't have a job that you guys have.
Yeah.
Is that what you're telling me? They're like, no, I'm like, why? Is it because I'm related?
Right, because
is
it's
it
you and you're related to them.
It's because I'm related to you and I'm white. Okay, got it.
The opportunity of equality of opportunity. When you're talking about that, anyone who's gone to school in an inner city school, and I've not. All I know are the stories I've heard from people who were teachers there, who are of my age and stuff. Where it's like, yeah, it's really fucking tough. These kids, they either they don't care or and it's like, okay, well, what's their home life like? Are they worried as they're walking to school they're going to get jumped because their brothers, and I'm just making up hypotheticals. Their brothers in a gang and there's drugs involved, and then this kid's going to get taken out because your brother owes him money or whatever. It's like, are you worried every day that you're going to get in a fight or get killed or get jumped or get mugged or come home and you don't have food or whatever? Those things will cause an individual, especially a child, and while you're developing,
they're gonna react a certain way to it, and
you're
gonna
become that kind of person. You're gonna have that attitude because it's the only way to survive in your neighborhood where you're from.
And not everybody has the fucking mental toughness to just be like, I'm gonna overcome this. Like, I probably couldn't fucking overcome that. I know I couldn't do that.
At 39, it would be a struggle for me to mentally go, all right, I know what I have all of these assets of the experience I've had. Now I'm plunged into this, naked and afraid situation. I'm going to try and work my way out of it.
Right.
Let's talk about kids coming up from birth and not having any of these opportunities.
Yeah, and not knowing what exists.
When I see those bumper stickers that say I fight poverty, something like I fight poverty, I work. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's something along those lines.
Yeah.
I fight poverty or whatever. I work.
Something where like, I can do this. Why can't you?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's like, oh, I have a job. I'm like, okay, that's cool, man. And you're, a gray-haired, middle 50s white guy with a handlebar mustache in a plumbing truck. That's cool. That's what you went into. Maybe it was your parents. Maybe
you have probably been handed this.
No,
Not handed.
I won't say
you've
that.
You've been taught this. This is what
you had the opportunity.
Right.
You had the equality of opportunity to. I have an opportunity to become a welder, to become somebody who does, these vocational jobs that we need to fill. Everybody's going to college and becoming an English major, and sitting on $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in debt.
Right.
And maybe they're able to get themselves into a job over time that pays that off, and then they have that life. But in the meantime, all these blue collar need to be done jobs aren't being filled because people aren't going into them. But this kid in the hood, does he have an opportunity to go and become an apprentice in a for a plumbing company,
right,
or as an electrician or something?
And
like that?
it's like, yes, I know there's groups out there that do help some people, but do people realize how bad it is in some cities?
It's
look at Buffalo, Detroit, Pittsburgh's Pittsburgh's gotten better. Yeah. Cleveland was bad for a while. Chicago, and like Chicago South Side that everybody talks about now.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, but not everybody has that opportunity. That's maybe granted to like 50 kids out of what, 200,000?
If there's like 340 million people in this country,
yeah,
for the people that are there to help,
3 people that got helped, that's not going to change the world.
It's
going to change theirs, but not everybody else's.
10,000 to 1 ratio of, I'm a person who can help you with this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all right, but your workload is so massive and you're getting paid $40K and you're, you know what I mean, living in a studio apartment because that's all you can afford to try to help all these people. And it just becomes daunting. And then unless you're a person who's just naturally really, you just have this positive energy in you that carries you through, it's going to drag you down. And then you got no sun for 9 months out of the year in this fucking town. That'll kill you too. So I think equality of opportunity, not equality of outcome, and the possibility of looking into universal basic income, I think is something that really should be looked at. I don't know that it's going to happen. I mean, the fact that it's happening in Hawaii.
There's always going to be that person that's just like, they have that already, and that's what welfare is. It's like, no, that's not it.
No, that's not what that is. That's not what it is.
People need is $700 a month at least to help pay, to help pay. And if they want to extend on that, but then they're like, well, then it's just going to be that the projects are $700 a month. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's just the moving on up situation.
Pretty
right?
much, yeah. It's now I can afford better, so we should charge more. It's like, or you should charge what you're charging now,
right? And
then let nicer people move in who can actually help you out and you can help them out. But
yeah. Well, we wrapped it up and then we took it in a completely different direction.
We'll cut this off for the next week. Next week.
It's staying.
It'll be
next
week. We'll do next week's.
All right, everybody, have a great fucking week. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Peace.
Goodbye.